um, where you say in natural language what you want in this kind of like dialogue back and forth. You can iterate and refine it, and the computer just does it for you. You see some of this with like DALL-E and Copilot in very early ways, but I think this is going to be a massive trend.
Until recently, ChatGPT has remained mostly unchanged since its inception over a year ago. ChatGPT will receive one of its most significant updates following OpenAI's Dev Day, the company's first developers conference. The new GPT-5 model from OpenAI is a major change in language processing. GPT-5 outperforms its predecessors by being faster, more accurate, and more feature-rich. These features will forever change the planet. Join us as we shock you about the major changes these updates will bring to our world. 1. Multi-sensory experience. Try out the latest edition of ChatGPT. It will not be limited to text and image processing. Indeed, GPT-5 is planned to include a multimodal structure that distinguishes it from its generative AI competitors. The multimodal capabilities of GPT-5 will be pretty diverse. Audio, video, long-form data, temperature data, and depth data will all be processed and analyzed by the application. So certainly, you are on the verge of a new era of fast engineering. For example, any statistical inference from a year's worth of meteorological data will be as simple as ABC for GPT-5. Its generation capacity will be unprecedented, and the type of data analysis it can perform may even render several educational paradigms obsolete. The issue is that GPT-5 will not only perform the research for you, but also have the ability to repeat complex patterns, even if they are deeply mathematically sound. So when it comes to drawing statistical inferences or constructing contextually appropriate data patterns, GPT-5 will excel. As OpenAI works on CLIP and DE, we expect more complex versions of these AI models to be included into GPT-5. When this occurs, content creation will be transformed. Number 2. Content creation democratization. When we say multi-sensory experience, we're also thinking of a new way to curate entertainment with GPT-5. No, we're not talking about GPT scripts for hour-long movies with comprehensive shot descriptions. GPT-5 is planned to leverage its existing capabilities to develop an unrivaled generative model that significantly relies on human engagement. Anyone, and we mean anyone, can use the model to create content as long as GPT improves its grasp of a prompt and provides sensitive results. We don't really mean visual media when we say content. Consider something bigger. Through a simple command, GPT-5 is intended to be able to build 3D models, virtual realities, alternate realities, movies, and even video games. That's right. The days of simply employing a text-based generative AI to generate scripts or simple narration-based concepts are over. You'll be able to generate high-value, monetized content with GPT-5 by combining several modalities such as audio, video, text, and so on. There's a reason why OpenAI is expanding its GPU capacity to invest extensively in DE and CLIP. These two tools will be invaluable in producing visual pieces that are both useful and captivating. The impact of GPT-5 is quite predictable. From this vantage point, we can see a massive wave of democratization of art and who gets to create it. A lack of technology and resources will not limit ideas in many ways. Art will be accessible to everyone. That may appear to be a lot of mainstreaming in one area, but remember that not every GPT-5 user will be aiming to commercialize its multimodal capabilities. GPT-5 will simply be a tool for bringing your thoughts to life, and it will not necessarily fall within the categories of excellent or terrible. But that isn't all. GPT-5 will also allow us to construct more interactive and open-source programs, such as video games. Consider this. A collection of prompts that has generated visual imagery for a specific video game can be readily changed. This way, the entire video game paradigm will provide new meaning to interactive, real-time media. Perhaps you can develop your own tales within games, or your engagement with the plot will be altered based on your interest and preferences. Number 3. GPT-5 will predict the future. Listen up. If you think making art more accessible is revolutionary, for the most part, we're looking at a reasonably certain future if OpenAI genuinely has the GPU power to train GPT-5. We have every reason to assume that GPT-5 will be able to forecast future outcomes more accurately, confidently, and sophisticatedly. We've already discussed how statistical inference is on the horizon for GPT-5, but its multimodal capabilities and massive language models will allow it to be all-encompassing. This idea will enable GPT-5 to acquire and process more data points than ever. Of course, simply having a vast amount of data is insufficient. Sure, large-scale data mining is useful, but GPT-5 will also be able to undertake strategic data filtering to do something previously inconceivable. With its optimum data, it will have complete autonomy to develop new ecosystems, such as alternate planets, virtual realities, and historical paradigms. This means that GPT-5 will respond to stimuli that aren't limited to the present or the status quo. It will also assist you in testing your data-driven theories and assumptions. It will be able to forecast how our world will look in the future and how specific solutions to specific problems will play out. Of course, we presently have analytical and statistical models that yield the same results, but they aren't as fast or as reliable. GPT-5 will forever change that. Technically, GPT-5 will provide you with testing grounds for predicting specific outcomes or incidents. Currently, testing specific theories or hypotheses is an expensive and time-consuming endeavor. Our future will be safer and more certain with GPT-5. Number 4. GPT-5 empowered robots. Okay, we appreciate that testing theories may not interest the typical consumer, but trust us when we say that GPT-5 will significantly impact everyone's life. The multimodal capabilities of LLM will enable robots to execute some activities in a more human-centric manner. In general, a robot that uses GPT-5 will be more intelligent than your average household robot. Robots are now designed to perform extremely specialized tasks in very specific ways. Let's simply say that GPT-5 can make your daily robots more creative. A GPT-5-enabled robot, for example, will be able to guide judgments. Perhaps it can create a delicious supper for you after examining the ingredients in your fridge and cupboard. Essentially, any robot can suit the individual needs of its user or owner. It will tailor its operations to fulfill specific requirements or to respond to certain situations. In many instances, robots will not take a consistent or systematic approach to completing jobs. In our kitchen scenario, perhaps the robot will devise recipes that take into account the consumer's preferences, such as allergies or dietary limitations. Isn't it thrilling? If this isn't enough, instructional robots might be programmed to create interactive classrooms. To make GPT-5 work miracles in their classroom, any teacher or professor will need to grasp the soft skill of prompt engineering. Maybe the empowered robot will figure out how to make education more accessible. For example, it can deliver class lessons in an easy-to-understand format for children with learning difficulties or hurdles. Number 5. GPT-5 as your virtual assistant. Consider this, we are all walking data sets. What we eat for breakfast, our social media passwords, our schedule, and basically everything about us are all part of one enormous data collection. And if GPT-5 is capable of anything, it is optimizing data sets to make informed decisions or conduct activities accordingly. This makes us wonder if GPT-5 will become an excellent virtual assistant capable of handling your crucial duties, and we believe it will perform admirably. Because GPT-5 is interactive, you can train it to learn your preferences, memorize your schedule, and even predict your requirements. For example, it may be able to set your alarms based on your daily pattern, or it may be able to organize meetings for you efficiently. You could ask GPT-5 to prepare your lunch menu and put your orders appropriately. The best aspect is that it will use your previous orders and preferences to make educated decisions. You will not need to contact it directly to ensure it performs exactly what you want or desire. The possibilities with GPT-5 are limitless. Number 6. Self-creation. So if GPT-5 can educate robots to be more flexible in their operations, we can safely assume that it can also develop other AI models. GPT-5 will be trained using a large number of techniques and datasets. At the very least, it will have sufficient datasets to develop its own AI models. Many experts refer to this as autonomous AI model development. But don't get us wrong, we're not claiming that GPT-5 will become sentient overnight. We're talking about the ultimate ability to combine existing AI systems to harness their specific capabilities to do certain jobs. GPT-5 will, in fact, optimize AI models to make the best use of them. Once OpenAI is able to work around this particular notion, we will be looking at an altogether new internet paradigm. Data processing will take on an entirely new appearance. Perhaps the world isn't prepared for it. Let us know in the comments whether you're looking forward to GPT-5. And if you made it this far in the video, please like, share, and subscribe to see more videos like this. We really appreciate your support.